Well, good morning, friends, and welcome back to A Moment with Hales. It is a beautiful day here out in the garden. It is July 4th, so happy July 4th to everyone. I hope you're enjoying watermelons, cookouts, and fireworks later. But I am starting my July 4th here celebrating in my garden. So let's take a look at what we have going on and growing. I think I have a ton of stuff to harvest today. What I'm most excited about this morning is I got up and I see that we have some tomatoes ready to harvest. So let's pick these. I'm really excited about these tomatoes because there's no blossom rot at the bottom of these two, and I used to have a big problem with that. This one does have blossom rot, but I'm still gonna cut around that and eat it. They look great. This one I'm gonna bring inside and let it change. I tend to pick them a little bit earlier and then put them on my windowsill, but I'm very excited for my first little round of tomatoes. This year I added in dwarf tomato plants to my garden. They're actually really large, so I don't know if dwarf refers to the type of tomato or the size of the plant. I definitely thought it was the size of the plant. And one of the reasons why I started my little gardening channel was try to show people that you don't have to have a lot of space to grow your own food. It was something that I felt like when I was looking online and seeing social media, these people had acres and beautiful gardens, and something that I felt like I could never really aspire to or have. And then I started looking at my backyard and I was like, you know what? If I want to grow my own food, I'm going to make the most of the space that I have in my backyard. So that's what I did. So my husband and I started our garden with 2 garden beds, and something that I try to encourage people to do is grow things in pots. Now, this was the first year I did quite a few different pots in my garden. I will say growing things in pots, you have to be far more intentional, I think, about watering them, because some of them haven't done so well, and you have to make sure the pot is large enough. But even if you have a patio, you can throw a tomato plant out there, you can throw anything out there, a pepper plant, whatever you'd want to grow. Potatoes in pots are fun too. So there's a lot you can do with pots. So I'm hoping this is going to show people that you don't have to have all that acreage to grow your own produce. You really don't need that much space because one plant can produce a ton. So I'll show you this dwarf tomato plant. It has quite a few tomatoes on it already, and they're looking really great. And then I have another tomato plant in a pot as well, which I'll show you. They're doing really well in the pot. So if you want to give that a try next year, it might be something, if it works better for your space, that you might want to consider. But again, you don't have to have hundreds of acres or 15 acres or whatever to have chickens and to have a garden. You can definitely do it even in a small space. And here I have my wildflower garden bed. It didn't really turn out how I was expecting it to. I thought these would have bloomed a long time ago, but I planted zinnias, I planted lavender, I planted just a ton of different wildflowers. I ended up just taking 2 different packets of seeds and just sprinkling it on here. But it looks like they're finally coming up, which I've been waiting for a long time, so I'm excited to see what happens with this bed and maybe do some fresh cut bouquets. I also tried to add a little bit of personality to my garden with these types of things with wildflowers in them. Some of them have grown, I'll show them to you, but this one wasn't the best one so far, but I thought it was super cute. But yeah, I do see some buds are starting to come out, so we'll see what happens. I am looking for tips and tricks if you have grown zinnias. I did do zinnias this year. I have no idea which one of these are zinnias, but if you have any tips for those next year, I think I'm gonna start them inside as seedlings in maybe April. But if you have grown them before, I would love some tips from you. Next, we're gonna go ahead and look at my cucumbers and my melons. I have my melons growing on this side, my cucumbers on the other, and some kind of in between. But my cucumbers are doing so well, so let's harvest a few. This is probably my longest cucumber. We're definitely going to check. Wow. So I definitely think we set a record with the amount of cucumbers. We have 12 total and the size. So I'm gonna go ahead and check my board and see what my record was last year. On my record board, I did not have a 2024 record for the longest cucumber, so I added it on for 2025. That cucumber was 9.5 inches, a record for my garden. Since we have expanded our garden this summer and added in a few trellises, I have noticed we have a few more birds kind of hanging out in our garden area. I've seen beautiful blue jays and cardinals and robins, and while I love watching them from my window, I don't really love them sitting on my trellis and pecking at my cucumbers and my melons and those types of things. So I have been wanting to add a bird feeder into my garden this season since we expanded. So I have partnered with Kingsyard, and they have sent me this very cute, aesthetically pleasing bird feeder that I think looks really great and will add into my garden aesthetics just perfectly. It will attract the birds, but it also will give them something to enjoy and eat, hopefully giving them more attention to the bird seed than something that they might want to snack on in my garden. This bird feeder is very easy to fill. So what you have to do is take the top off. You're just going to gently take off the handle, just like this. And then the top is going to come off, just like this. And then we'll go ahead and fill the bird seed right in the middle console there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out and I'm gonna fill it up. Not like that. I have my console all filled up. I'm just gonna drop it right back in here. Very easy. And then go ahead and put the top back on, making sure the hooks can come out the top, and then add my little handle back on so I can hang it. And there we have it, a beautiful bird feeder that looks gorgeous, is squirrel-proof, and going to help guide the beautiful birds that I love watching in my garden, but to eat something that's made a little bit better for them. So if you're a millennial like me and you've realized you really enjoy watching birds and you'd like to have some bird feeders out in your yard or a bird bath, or you're finding yourself more interested in gardening and realizing, I'm preferring going to bed early and waking up early, I have news for you. You might be getting closer to 40. So I'm excited to partner with Kingsyard so we can have awesome bird feeders, squirrel-proof bird feeders, and beautiful bird feeders so we can all enjoy watching nature outside our window. We also have available hummingbird feeders. So if you are interested in getting some hummingbird feeders, Kingsyard is a great option for that as well. 20% off with my code MOMENT20. I will link it below, and I'm excited to see what this brings to my garden this season. Just an update on the melons. We have quite a few that are looking really good, and I'm excited. We'll probably be able to enjoy some of them, maybe this one pretty soon. I do remember that the melons take a very long time for us, and I feel like they want to be light green. I need to research it again, so this one might be very close to trying, but we have quite a few started. So if you did melons, it's okay if they haven't started yet. Mine are really just starting to take off at this point. So patience is a virtue when it comes to melons. And speaking of patience, my sugar baby watermelons are finally taking off. I think they've enjoyed the heat and the rain, and we have a few little baby ones started. I came out here the other night and weaved them a little bit more into the trellis that we made, our little homemade trellis. And here's one little sugar baby watermelon. And I thought we had another one going somewhere. I'm sure we do in this. Oh, there's one too. So they are slowly coming out, but watermelon definitely likes to take its time. My cherry tomatoes have taken off as well. I love these cherry tomatoes, and I use them. I've saved them before and used them in salsa. I also will just eat them, put them in with some pasta. I also use them for bruschetta. I do a salad that's like tomatoes, basil, mozzarella, and like oil. I do that too. So the cherry tomatoes are really versatile and you can do a lot with them, and these taste so good. My giant tomato plant is also producing the cherry tomatoes, so we're gonna get in there and pick a lot of these. There we have it, my first little tomato harvest. I did remember, I'm pretty sure these are sun drop tomatoes, the type that I planted this year. And I did do some black cherry, but I don't think any of these are the black cherry. We also have our onions, which have fallen. This side has flopped over, this side hasn't. I don't know if it was wind, rain, damage. I don't think they're ready to be pulled, but I am gonna go ahead and pull them because I've never done onions before. The research I was doing was saying that once this net gets soft, which these are soft, they flop over and you do want to go ahead and harvest them. I'm gonna let the sun shine on them today and tomorrow, and then I will pull them out tomorrow. They say to try to pull them out when they're as dry as possible. It's supposed to rain coming up on Monday. So I'm gonna try to pull them out either Saturday or Sunday. I'll leave the ones that are up in, and then start the drying and curing process. So we'll see how that goes. We set up the onions to cure, so I'm going to leave them here for now, and then I think they are going to make their way into my basement. We still have a little bit of half the bed in there waiting to see what happens with those, but these are looking pretty good. This one looks like it's probably the biggest, maybe these two out of the yield, but for doing onions for the first time, I'm pretty happy with it. We'll be wrapping up here with my carrot bed. I am so excited and so proud of these carrots. I have never, actually one time I successfully did carrots in the fall. I'm going to be pulling out my carrot harvest. I planted these back in March or April, I want to say. And then I have a little row in the front that I planted not long after that I'm going to leave hopefully through the summer, and then also put another bed in the fall for carrots as well. But I'm really excited to pull these carrots and see what we have going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a different basket to put them in and then show you guys what we have. Look at this little bunch I have so far. Some of these look awesome, like this one. So this is so exciting. Okay, so just like they say, don't judge a book by its cover, don't judge a carrot by the top, because I definitely thought this was like a small carrot top, but this carrot is way better than maybe another one that had a stronger carrot top. So remember too, I did not thin very well. So thinning is super important when you're gardening, especially with carrots, because that will impact the size of your carrot. But I do still have some pretty good sizes. So I'm gonna keep going. I think this might set the record for me, we'll see. Here we have all of my carrots. These are looking so great. I'm actually really happy with how they turned out. Carrots are probably, I love growing everything. I say everything's my favorite thing to grow, but I do like carrots because it's always a surprise to see what's going on underneath. And I feel like carrots are really versatile. So what I'm gonna be doing with mine is vacuum sealing them and freezing them. I'm gonna chop some up for stews and different things that I'll be making in the winter. I also am gonna leave just some whole because I like to go ahead and throw them in when I'm doing like roast beef or something in the crock pot. And the carrot tops you can actually make pesto with, which I don't think I'm gonna do that because that sounds like a lot of work, but you can. People also add them into salads, they say as well, or just use them as garnish since they're very beautiful. But I will give mine to the chickens because they love it. So I might end up giving them some today, leave some in the fridge and give them some the other day. It gives them a good source of vitamins and minerals. But yeah, so here we go with the carrots. I'm going to freeze them. Oh, I'll also probably shred some of them up and freeze them that way as well. So I could use those in soups and that type of thing in the fall as well. So I will be doing a second round of carrots, so stay tuned for that. But I'm really proud of these. Well, thanks for watching, friends. I hope you enjoyed today's garden tour. I'm pretty happy with the harvest that we have. I'm really excited. I'm gonna go inside and make a breakfast sandwich with my tomatoes on it, and then go ahead and we'll start the 14-day cucumbers, and then also maybe do a little tomato salad. So this is exciting. So happy weekend. I hope you all had a great 4th of July. I don't know when I'm gonna post this, but I hope you did. Thanks for watching, and I'll be talking to you soon.